Hey Knight fans, I'm Kaley Budnik here with UCF head baseball coach Terry Rooney for another edition of In the Dugout here in the Tradition Room. Coach, your team had a loss, a complete heartbreak against University of Miami, ranked number 10 on Wednesday. However, they turned it around, had a 3-game sweep against Harvard here at J. Bergman Field. Coach, your team seems to find a way to get on base and score some runs, but your offense seems to be in somewhat of a slump recently. What do you attribute the soft offense performance to?
Well, I think it's baseball. Yeah, that's what I'm attributing to right now. It's baseball, and we definitely have been in an offensive funk. I think that's a good way to describe it. However, when things aren't going well, there's two qualities that all successful teams have, and I would say people in general. But as our group offensively, their work ethic has been unbelievable, and their attitude is extremely positive. We're not dealing with a group of players that there's an unknown. What I mean by that is, a couple years ago, we were starting 5 freshmen every single day, and that was a different dynamic. They were still going through the struggles and the rigors of playing. We've got some of the best position players in the country. I mean, we have All-Americans and freshman All-Americans and all-conference guys, so it's just part of baseball. The guys are working, they're doing a great job, and they're extremely confident. I've got all the confidence in the world, as they should too, that we're just one swing away from kind of getting it rolling. The positive of it is we've played a lot of one-run games now, kind of because of that. And I think playing in those types of situations and those environments, is really going to help us. We've won some of them, and as you alluded to, we've lost some tough games, and we've lost 4 one-run games, 4 of our 5 losses. So, but the guys they've continued to bounce back. Then you look at, we lost a tough game to Miami, 3-2. Obviously, I mean, what a game! I mean, just 2 top 20 teams, a couple thousand people here. It was awesome, but they responded, and we found a way to win 3 games against a good Harvard team. So we just got to keep getting better in all aspects.
You shook up the lineup during this weekend, the Harvard series. Was that in an effort to maybe spur some offense on your team?
Yeah, it was. There's no question it was. It's a fine line. As a coach, we've got, I think, in a lot of ways, a proven lineup. But at the end of the day, it's my job as the coach to put our kids in what I hope is and what I believe is the best position for us to win and to be successful. And I did move some guys around, and I played some new players, and I'm going to continue to play some new players. And there's competition. There really is. That's the reality of it. Any great program in the country in any sport has depth. That's one of the qualities that makes a great team. We have depth. Look at this weekend, Tommy Williams, Spencer Haynes. We had some new guys in there do some nice jobs for us. So, everybody's got to keep playing better. That's how you play. If you're not playing well, you may not play. That's just the real world. But I feel very good that we've got an outstanding team, outstanding depth, and overall we're doing a decent job. We just need to keep getting better, and I know that we're going to continue to do well offensively.
You've talked before here in the dugout that players need to take advantage of situations and opportunities when they arrive. And it seems like your team really has been doing that, especially with the pitchers. They really keep us in the games. And your team takes full advantage of when other teams make mistakes or errors to get some runs.
Yeah, that's a great comment. You're right. I mean, there's lots of signs and qualities of good teams. One sign and quality is that, do you capitalize on opportunities? If somebody were to walk a guy on 2 outs, can you take advantage of that? If another team is to make an error, can you capitalize on that? And that's all part of it. And we've done a decent job of that, in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And as teams have done it to us, a lot of these one-run losses that we've lost, we've created our own situations on the negative side. Maybe a couple errors or bad pitches and those kinds of things. So it works both ways. Great teams do that. And the key to us is to eliminate those mistakes moving forward. I feel like we've been very average at the way we've played, to be quite honest with you, but I feel like the confidence, the work ethic, the perseverance of these kids have allowed us to continue to move forward. And I think once we continue to tighten up the way we play the game, we're going to be in good shape. But I mean, obviously the times now, the big game on against USF coming up, and then obviously East Carolina this weekend.
We saw Travis Shreve get hit with a pitch during the Miami game, and we didn't see much action from him during the Harvard series. Can you tell us about Travis's condition and when he'll be back in the lineup?
Yeah, he's day-to-day. He's day-to-day, and he's got a little bit of a bruise right now. He's day-to-day, but, I expect him to make a full recovery.
Are there any other injuries or health concerns you're concerned about coming into conference games?
No.
Well, good. One player that had a really big weekend was Chris Halladay. Can you talk to us a little bit about his clutch hitting?
Clutch. There it is. It's the word of the day for Chris Halladay. I've made no secret about this. I mean, Chris Halladay is one of the most clutch players in the entire country. Absolutely. Always has been, always will be. There's qualities of, I remember when we recruited Chris Halladay, he would, in the biggest of situations, he'd always get the hits. Always, even in high school. He was always, to high school and summer ball, he would always get the big hits, and nothing has changed since he's put a UCF jersey on. He's got that knack. He finds ways to barrel balls, and he's just, that's the sign of a tough kid. People talk about toughness as a team and toughness as a player. Toughness is being able to flush, the 3 at-bats maybe before when you're 0 for 3 and getting the big hit, in the 9th inning or the 8th inning when you need it. That's toughness, because that means you forgot about it. Non-tough is when you let the prior at-bat or prior inning affect you. Chris Halladay's tough, and he's clutch. And look what he does. He catches, he plays left, he plays third base, he does whatever it takes to get the job done. And, it's a pleasure to coach somebody like him. But there's no question he's one of the most clutch players in the country.
You're taking the road to face University of South Florida Bulls again Tuesday, and then coming back here to Jay Bergman Field and taking on a really strong East Carolina team. Can you tell me your plan of action for these teams?
Well, we try to win. That's like the bigger overall plan of action. But the plan of action is we got to play very well. We really do. USF is playing well. They're having a good season, and we played very well against them here a couple weeks ago at our place, but that means nothing. We're going to their home park, and we have to play well. And obviously, we open up conference play with East Carolina. Look, Conference USA is one of the best baseball conferences in America. RPI, I think we're 4th right now, 4th to 5th, 3 to 5 every single season. Everybody you play is good. Look at the records up and down Conference USA. We have outstanding records, and obviously we're playing a great East Carolina program. Tremendous amount of respect for them, the way they play the game. They're very similar to us, in their statistics, etc. So, I was telling people earlier, we've played a lot of one-run games. Expect the same thing. Going into Conference USA, everybody's good, and you got to play well. And the teams that persevere and the teams that play fundamentally sound are the teams that are going to win. So we've got quite a challenge ahead of us right now.
Well, you heard it here. We're taking on USF Bulls. That'll be on Bright House Network's channel. Be sure to tune in at 7 p.m. and then come here to Jay Bergman Field to support your Knights as they take on East Carolina. That's starting Friday at 6:30. I'm Kaley Budnik with head coach Terry Rooney for another edition of In the Dugout.